go burritos on them. It's your legacy, whether you like it or not.
Sure.
Let's say, can I go top 3 burritos all time? I think you're the guy to ask.
I mean, look, all burritos are perfect.
Okay.
We need to get that on.
That's good.
Let's see. I'll just give you 3 really good ones.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, everyone has their own top 3. I would say favorite burrito of all time, the place that birthed the Burrito Mafia Don, me. Boulevard Tacos in Portland. I think
nice.
It's also sometimes called Burrito Azteca. A place that has 2 names is always a good sign.
Welcome back to another episode of Talking While Running. Lovely day out here in Boulder with a special guest, to say the least, Scott Fauble. I should have checked the pronunciation, by the way. Did I?
You're good.
Ruin it? Okay.
No, you're fine.
Dude, thanks so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it took a minute to get him on the show, but once I saw he was in the area, I had to take the advantage. You're in Boulder now, but I like to start a little bit going back to the roots. You're from the area originally, Golden, Denver area.
Yep.
How did you get into running? You know, how did you discover that this was your passion, and what was kind of the origin story for you?
Played basically everything growing up. Soccer, tennis, basketball, rugby, you know, anything. And then,
Rugby? That's
yeah,
interesting.
rugby. Got a couple concussions, had to stop.
Oh, damn.
And then one summer, you know, I think my mom wanted to get me out of the house a little bit. Took me to track practice. I was good basically right away. This was like
Nice.
4th or 5th grade. And, you know, at that age, you like doing stuff you're good at. So
Right.
hung in there, kept training, you know, kept winning as like a middle schooler. And then, yeah, that was kind of how it started.
I think I stalked your Wikipedia. You ran Boulder Bolder at like 11 years old or something savage? Can you confirm that?
Yeah.
How did that go? Can you remember?
I think we ran right around 40 minutes. It was me and my dad at the time.
That's lit.
Yeah, I think it was the 25th anniversary.
Okay.
So whatever year that was. And my dad was in decent shape and wanted to try to run his age.
Oh, 40. Okay, cool. I'm not from here, but it seems like a good place to get into the sport as a high schooler.
Yeah.
What was like the culture like for you?
I was lucky. I had a really good coach and good teammates to train with. They were mostly older than me, but we had a good team. We were 3rd in state my freshman year, and then won state, and then we're 2nd in state. So,
Sick.
good people to run with.
Yeah.
And it was just it was fun, but it was also competitive, and I think everyone wanted to work really hard within the constraints of being a high schooler, obviously.
Yeah, of course. There's some things that
Yeah.
come with that. Yeah, so you went on to Portland to be a pilot.
Yep.
Teammates with somebody else we did an episode with, friend of the brand, Reid Buchanan.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
said to say hi.
My first year was rough, or at least my first semester. I
Going right to you.
found out that I really enjoyed cheap beer and pizza, and
Okay.
I did not enjoy going to bed at 10 p.m. on a Friday.
Right.
And as you can expect, when you're 18 years old and trying to train hard and also trying to go out 3 times a week, it didn't go well.
Yeah.
It didn't go well. And, you know, I had a little bit of success, middling success in college. I'd say a couple-time All-American,
Yeah.
but
To say the least.
yeah.
Your team got 3rd at NCAA's.
Yeah.
With you, I think, is the low stick.
Yep.
With Reid and Woody Kincaid, both now pros, also doing really well, and I know other guys on that team. What do you remember about that day in that race? You know, specifically.
I remember the whole year feeling like we had a shot to podium, and we'd never had a podium in like the school history.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. So I remember a lot of excitement that year.
Okay.
I remember a lot of nervousness because we had some guys who were like we were kind of counting on, and they were sort of banged up. And
what about your personal race?
Yeah.
How did that play out?
It was slow that year.
Okay.
So I was in there in the lead group until I think about 8K. Ches blew it up.
As he does.
Yeah, as one does. And then I remember making a big move at about 8,500. Fought real hard that last stretch, that 500 meters. And I think I was 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember being proud of it. I remember afterwards seeing that two guys we were kind of counting on to score didn't finish. One hurt his Achilles, and one was coming back off of a stress reaction, and
Didn't work out.
Yeah, and then when that happened, I remember thinking like, oh, it didn't happen for us.
Damn.
Didn't make it. Nothing good happened
Right.
here. But Reid ran great.
Shout out.
Yeah, we had two other guys kind of ball out for them.
Who do we got?
Danny Martinez was right there, and Timo Boulder, our German friend. And then Woody was our fifth man, and he'd come back and ran real gutty after like a pretty chopped up season with a stress reaction early and not really getting to train a ton. Obviously, we all know now
Yes.
how talented he was.
Yeah,
But,
filthy.
you know, at the time, that was asking a lot from him because he had never been a high mileage guy. 10K was a little long for him, and he'd been hurt, and he didn't have a good day, but he toughed it out. And then I remember when we got third, I just felt so much relief and happiness that we could kind of give that to our coach our final year, because it was Woody's last year across, and then had two other fifth years on that team,
Right.
who, you know, we'd really been through a lot as a team, and to be able to kind of leave on that positive note meant a lot.
That's an exclamation mark.
Yeah.
Was the philosophy, I mean, maybe that year, but also just that coach in general, like high volume, or what was kind of what you remember about that?
Yeah, we would do high volume, we'd do aerobic stuff, a lot of aerobic stuff, but we also, I mean, training was normal, you know?
Yeah.
It was not wild. It wasn't like anything experimental. It was just aerobic work that we would kind of stack on top of each other with a little speed mixed in.
That's good. That's a good lesson for the kids back home. All right, so you go pro, which there's no shortage of stuff to talk about there. Did you go to Flagstaff right away after that?
Yeah.
And how did that, what was the connection there? Or what was the thinking with that move?
I signed with NAZ Elite in the summer of 2015 after I finished up in college, and then fall of 2015 moved to Flag, and I was just happy to have a spot, happy to have a spot. I was making no money. I was making $0 a year at the time. I was just on bonuses. I was just on like a small housing stipend, but I felt like Flagstaff was where I was going to be able to make something happen. So I moved out there with a buddy, Steven Kirsch, who did 4 years at Portland, 1 year at Gonzaga, and now is an ultramarathoner guy. We lived together, and I just got to work. I started training as hard as I could.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's put a pin in that tee. We could flip.
In 2017 at Frankfurt.
Oh, okay.
And I ran 2:12:35, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's insane.
Mid 2:12s, which doesn't sound very good at the time, but
That's obscene.
it was. I think at the time it was like the 13th or 14th fastest American debut of all
Right,
time.
that sounds right.
Same as Meb, which
Sheesh.
yeah. So it was good.
What was the Frankfurt like course like experience overall?
You know, honestly, wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
It's a weird first 10K winding downtown. Like, it was fun to race, and I got to race with 2 teammates, Matt Yano and Scott Smith, but not the fastest course in the world.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's still, I mean, that's even more impressive then. And so then, I mean, the race that sticks out to me next is the NYC, which I think you ran 2:12 again.
Yep.
But 7th overall, like, also wildly impressive. What do you recall about that one? I think that was right before you wrote the book, which we'll get into as well.
Yeah, I mean, we've been writing the book leading up to New York, and I remember really grinding for the first 20 and not feeling that good, not feeling that smooth.
Interesting.
Feeling like the pace wasn't coming, and then I hit like 21 and something just clicked. I had a really good last 5 miles. I moved from like probably like 14th or 15th all the way up to 7th. Almost caught Jared for 6th.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember feeling like, okay, we closing really hard.
Like you said, then the book drops, Inside a Marathon. We'll drop the link. Make sure you get a purchase. Support the journey. But what's kind of like the synopsis almost of that book for people who haven't heard about it or are curious?
Well, the book is Ben Rosario, my old coach's, and I's perspective on the whole build-up to New York City. So it's kind of like a training log.
It's just an inside
experience,
look.
Yeah. Of the whole training block. There's like 150 pictures, like 17 chapters, 1 per week. Every single training thing I did was in there.
Which, I mean, everyone has to check that out, honestly, especially if you're getting in the marathon world. I think also you're training for Boston, right?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. So after New York, though, Boston, 2:09, top American male. I mean, it seems to me like that was a breakthrough for you, even though you said one of the best debuts. Like, did that change things in your mind, that 2:09, and then also what do you remember about that Boston day?
Yeah, I think it did change things. Maybe for the worse, honestly, for a little while.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, it gave me faith that I could race up front, which was obviously good, and that build-up was really good. It was a really good build-up.
What stands out, like, that made it special?
Some, like, monster sessions.
Okay.
Did a lot of workouts that surprised myself, and felt like I was in a really good spot. Like, going into that race, and then I made really good decisions in the race.
Yeah.
I was brave, I made good decisions. Like, hard decisions in the second half.
What stands out there too, because I think that's a really interesting, nugget for people running a marathon. You don't think about that in the moment.
I just took swings. I just took chances on the hills.
Okay, yeah. In Boston,
yeah,
that's important.
I pushed really hard in between the Newton Hills. I whittled the pack down. I felt like I gave myself every shot to win.
And that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Best case. All right, so that time you were training, like you mentioned, with Ben Rosario, coach, NAZ Elite. I mean, you made some transitions in the winter to step away from that group, and obviously you're kind of back in your roots in the Denver area now. What, obviously whatever you're willing to share with the squad, but what kind of went into that decision, and what was that? I'm assuming that was a tough thing to do.
Yeah, it was. It's not a decision I made lightly or quickly. I thought about it for a long time. I consulted some people, and I just felt like I needed to change. I felt like I'd plateaued, and I felt like I needed some new stuff in order to kind of take that next step and continue to compete. And I kind of felt like you know, it's 2022 right now. Trials are in 2024.
Yep.
And I didn't really want to waste more time being on the fence about whether or not this was where I needed to be. And I think once you're on the fence about whether or not a situation's working for you, you have to get out.
Yeah.
You have to leave. You're not going to do anyone any favor by being half-assing it, you know. So I didn't feel like I was. Yeah, I just didn't want to waste anyone's time being kind of in.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now you're going to Boston again. It's back in the spring after some COVID delays and whatnot. What's kind of like, how's things going now? Like whatever you're willing to share, of course, but we're a couple weeks out.
Yep. 3.5 weeks out.
Yeah, like what's the status? How's it going?
I think it's going good. I think so far training's been going well. Good long runs, had some good intervals. Joe, my new coach, Joe Bossard, seems...
Shout out.
Yeah, shouts. He seems optimistic, he seems happy with where we're at, and that's all I can hope for, you know? Like, I'm trying not to, like, get too focused on the race and just try to...
Of course, yeah.
Do the work I can do right now and...
Enjoy the process.
Yeah.
For sure. All right, so we're also kind of nearing the end, but we'll tack on a little bit, but I want to wrap up the cameras. We got to go burritos on them. It's your legacy, whether you like it or not.
Sure.
Let's say, can I go top 3 burritos all time? I think you're the guy to ask.
I mean, look, all burritos are perfect.
Okay.
We need to get that on.
That's good.
Let's see. I'll just give you 3 really good ones.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, everyone has their own top 3. I would say favorite burrito of all time, the place that birthed the Burrito Mafia Don, me. Boulevard Tacos in Portland. I think
nice.
it's also sometimes called Burrito Azteca. A place that has 2 names is always a good sign.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That's number 1. Let's see. And then I'm just gonna say, any place you can get enchilada style, any place you can get it smothered, any place like hole in the wall sort of spots, anywhere with pictures on the menu is huge.
Yeah, that is
I would say
a good sign.
Like Tacos Los Altos and Flagstaff on the east side is better than the west side.
Oh, interesting.
That one's right up there. And then I would say basically anywhere in Albuquerque, anywhere in New Mexico.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah, gonna melt your face. It's gonna be really spicy.
All right.
It's gonna be chili forward. You gotta go Christmas style,
which is verde and
red and green.
Yeah.
And you can't go wrong. You'll be happy. You'll be a happy person, and a better person for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll make sure follow Scott on all his socials, obviously, for not only the burrito stuff, but running, and he's a good follow no matter what. I'll drop that in the link below. Also, all the run details will be on Trackster, of course. And dude, thanks so much.
Yeah, man.
Best of luck in Boston.
Thank
Keep
you.
an eye out for this one. All right, dude.